The spirit of a champion definitely rewards you at the end of the season. Tendo, from the start of the season, you believe that Vipers SC could win this one, and almost at every stage of the campaign, you were quite sure that Vipers would catch this one. What made you believe from the start that Vipers SC could easily, actually it was not just winning, but you said easily win this one? Vipers SC, ever since they went to the top, as Tony has mentioned, they have never left the top.
Well, one thing, first of all, even I'm not going to talk about Vipers now. I had analyzed the other teams. The team that looked to be serious from the start of the season were Sports Club Villa, UPPC, and Police. KCCA was still unsure because of the challenges. Brian Senyondo is the coach. He's in under 20. They are co-coaches. You know, in such a situation, you saw what happened at Bull. Chikomeko is suspended, players are coming back, and then eventually they don't know who is going to be their coach. Express has Kadu, then he starts very well, then Nek wants to take him. Nek starts with Mbarangu, but they are not sure after the Continental. So none of those teams was organized. Police starts the season, takes the run, then they lose their best player, Dennis Kalanzi. Now in football, you are as strong as your ability to attract good players, but also to retain them when the call of a better team comes. If the other team is bigger, like in the aspect of Alan Okero going to Yanga, you must have able replacements. Now where Alan Okero goes, Karim Watambala steps up. Where Milton Karisa and Yunus Sentam look shaky in the start, Usama Arafat has been bought and taken from the rivals. So these other teams were weakened in a certain way. Then the others made themselves a disservice. Like UPPC started very well with a good coaching staff and all that, but you cannot be a team challenging for the title and you are playing at Bugonga in this era. You must have the advantage of the pitch as well. They also struggled because Abdallah Mubiru was not going to coach the football played at Bugonga. So he was bound to struggle. We saw them playing very well away from home, like the game they played against Sports Club Villa, very beautiful football. Then you go back, you see a different UPPC. And so, as Police was pushing without Dennis Karans, the steam ran out. Then UPPC took over. They had a run of their own. So many games without conceding a goal. But their main striker is scoring only one goal in each match. Ambrose Chigozi, you cannot blame him. He has done very wonderfully well in his first season as a rookie from Chiinda Boys, just like his compatriot from Chiinda Boys, David Lukwago, who has been in goal for Sports Club Villa. Now, Sports Club Villa on their side have a good squad, but not an expensive assembled squad. At a certain moment, you cannot ask so much of such a squad. They have been there trying to push. When they gained momentum, they started thinking that there is a problem with the referees. Now, if you are playing football, those things do not go into the players and the team. It is very bad because when you analyze the whole season, every team has had a challenge with the referees. You cannot go on thinking that you are witch-hunted. Sometimes you lose some judgments and you have to keep the momentum. So they lost the momentum there. Then it's picked up by NEC. But NEC, by the time they picked it up, their key players, Joseph Data injured, then they have new players, then they tried, but it was too late to catch up. When KCC in the second round, in the late second round, again, they started struggling to choose. Many people are ridiculing Muserero, this young boy from Edgar's. But the moment a player of that nature comes and breaks into the team, it already shows a weakness in the team. Back in the day, Tony will tell you how long it took him to break into the team. He was a good player. He had even been tried, starter in Masaka LC, even called to the Cranes. But when he comes to Kampala, he has to be on the bench and fight for his place at KCCA. So that he treasures and merits the position in his strength. So if a player of that nature comes and walks into the team, you question yourself, the players he has jumped. So basically, when you look at all the teams, including URA, of course, URA's story is very obvious. Those are the teams that would have challenged. Now, in that aspect, Vipers were singing, dancing, writing the songs and producing them in the same choir.
Well, that is the story for the 2025-2026 StarTimes Uganda Premier League, with Vipers SC emerging as the champions. KCCA SC Villa Chita Football Club coming on as the chasing pack, but they couldn't leapfrog Vipers SC from the top until this very day. With one game left to play, Vipers SC have already been announced as the champions of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. Tony, you are a former player and you've been through such a moment at KCA Football Club, a side that has actually won almost. Vipers SC has won one more game than KCA Football Club, and Vipers SC has drawn many games, but because of some losses, KCA has lost over 5 matches, and Vipers SC haven't lost a game on the pitch. I don't know where you as a former player, you know, you could, where do you think the trophy is won and it is lost, which in which period of the campaign?
I think usually when things are going right for the team, that is especially for, let me say, when you sit at the top and you win each and every game easily, there is a way it affects players themselves, and they gain that mentality of complacency. Like you have won, you tend to win the game before you win it. So before you know, you have lost 2 games in a row, and this is not good for a team that is fighting for being a champion. So in that moment, you have to always keep your players aware that a game is not yet won until it is won. So at one point, when you look in the squad, you have depth in the squad, the quality. Then you look at the team on paper, you are playing, they are weaker than you. Then you be like, we have won. I will give you an example of KCC that traveled. They are playing a team that was fighting relegation, and some of their key players didn't travel with the team. In their mind, maybe they think they can go there and come back with a victory. So they won the game even before they went there. So this is something that hit them, and actually it might have cost them the title. This is when Vipers stretched the gap even bigger than how it takes them. But before they knew it was too late for them to catch up. So those are moments where you think you can lose the game. But again, it takes a team to have that experience, players that know how to handle moments in the game. You know, games are played, but at one moment in the game, things might be different. But that mentality to fight back until the 90 minutes is finished. But whatever happens in the game, you have to finish the game as you have already collected the 3 points in your bag. So this is something that the Vipers has tried to show most of the games. Even when they draw, they come back and make sure they win the next game ahead.
Okay. Yes. Well, winning matches, Vipers has won their matches. KCC has also tried to win some of those games, but at the end of the season, it is Vipers that are champions. Amongst the 2 coaches that have received a lot of backlash during the course of the season has been Ivan Minat and Brian Senyondo of KCA Football Club. For Brian Senyondo, as Ton has talked about, KCA lost that game against Police Football Club. Brian Senyondo warned his players against complacency in every game. They lost. He said that every player that is at KCA Football Club, you must represent KCC FC. And no matter whether you are the 29th player, but you must put up the same performance as the rest of the squad. Same as to Ivan Minat, has been changing squad, but he hasn't lost a game on the pitch. But he has struggled against the stronger sides, but winning every smaller team that he has been facing.
Yeah, I think Ivan Minat is being judged unfairly, honestly. I am one of those who predicts what is going to happen, but not because I judge him. I predict because I follow what is happening, and I know what the people will think, those who are looking at what he's doing. One, there is always a challenge to impress at Vipers. They buy very good players and they build very good players. The gap between the players they have built and the ones that they have bought sometimes is unfairly balanced. For instance, there is a time they will have 8 strikers in a team in a formation that allows only 1 per game. And all of them are first-class players. How are you going to satisfy their egos? What kind of football are you coaching to be able to keep all of them on form? Just imagine that. Then you find a situation where they have many midfielders for positions that you think are taken already. Because in this season without Alan Okello, it was obvious Watambala was going to play all the games. Then you bring Sebagala, who has been his partner in Chan. That means you cannot kill that combination. Now, all the other midfielders were going to fight for one slot. You have Mbowa, you have Tadeo Luanga, you have Marvin Youngman, you have so and so. Now, you kill the telepathy of the team in that aspect. When you look at defense, Torach came with good form from Chan. He's not like the other players who came to Chan and fought to get into the team. He managed to get into the team. But there was Bade da Silva. But again, there is a player who plays all season. Mukundani. He does not die. He does not fall sick. He does not lose anybody. You know, we used to joke back then. So that is Mukundane for you. So in that aspect, what do you choose to play? Sometimes they chose to play back three to accommodate them, and it was having struggles because, again, you are losing the fullbacks. Imagine you have Ashraf Mandela, you have Grant Masiko, who had been a good upcoming player, and then you bring back Nicholas Wadada. You would say it is a good balanced squad, but how do you satisfy them? You get it. Same thing with the left, you have Ndahiro, you have Enoch Ruima. Now, in the challenge, in the aspect of trying to give them playing time, you might win games, but you are killing the telepathy of the team. That is exactly what happened. In the games, Vipers struggled. But because the other teams are not as good and not as well equipped, they managed to get results. But at the end of the day, Minat is not going to be judged by winning, but by how the team has played. There are things that he has not done well. One, you would expect the best buys to be commanding first team places. Glody, he has struggled. Isaac Ogwang has struggled. Kenneth Chimera struggled to the extent of even leaving the club. Fazil Tumuine went on loan, he disappeared. You get it? So there is an aspect where a coach, a manager must teach and put people into the team. That has failed. So the team has been a little shaky. Yes, they would have won the league, but I think at a certain moment the team demands real dominance, not being the biggest or the one-eyed man amongst the blind. And that one you cannot blame Vipers for it, but you can blame them for not showing their might in those games where they did not really show their class. Because when we borrow a leaf from the teams that were dominant, even the Police side that won the league in 2005 came back and dominated for some time until URA came into it. And URA had to take out some players from Police to get a stranglehold, the likes of Masaba, the Tonema Wages of this world. So that shows that these teams have to first disable you. The dominant Sports Club Villa side, we all know the players they had. You have a team that has Daniel Bote, Edgar Watson, Ayubu Bariejusa, Emma Bariejusa in the same team. All of them midfielders, Morebie Kwaso, you have Alexis Sabile, you have Mbarangu, you have all them. But there was always a lineup. And Isabile knew he would come in the second half. Now, sometimes when you want to impress other players, you lose the telepathy of the team. That is what has happened to all those teams. So when you analyze that, it is not easy when you are judging Minat, but at least you can judge Senyondo. Because one, they did not show from day one that they had trust in him by making them co-coaches. Whatever they were trying to deliver did backfire, because the time Senyondo was not there, Magera played certain players that you thought maybe Senyondo was not using. Then when Senyondo comes back, brings in certain players, already that will create a divide in the team. Now all of a sudden when they are all there, then a new player comes and takes, because I don't know what happened to Anyama after that performance in Chan, even if he had a bad game, because Achai had a bad game in Morocco, but he came back a better player in the league, because players learn from experience. So somewhere, somehow, they gambled. They gambled in the goalkeeping, Lukwago, Ikimaru, then Mugorofa. You know, somewhere, somehow, to win the league, you must have some level of consistency. Every player must sleep knowing what they are going to do. That's what we were talking about with Tony. Probably the player that has performed best at KCCA has performed against odds. That is Sebaduka. He started the season playing left back. put forward in the left wing, taken to the right wing. Today has played right back in a game where you needed to win to actually stay close and maybe prolong the fight to the last day. He has been in the right back. With all the right backs you bought, you still have to use him. So I think somewhere, somehow, it is not a fact that injuries decimate a team. You must have planned how you can keep the team together, even amidst injuries. Because you would think if Sebaduka had consistently played the same position, he would be a candidate for the national team right now. But if you ask me which position he can be called into, honestly, I don't know. I cannot say he's good for all positions because national team does not call like that.
Okay. Maybe Tony will be telling us where Sebaduka will be definitely fitting in on the national team. But I want also Tony to be a bit brutal when he's attacking this one. But I'll ask his honest opinion about whether he thinks there should be a change in coaching staff at KCF Football Club in case they want to win the title again. And I also give me your assessment how SC Villa and Star Football Club fell short in winning the title and what they have done best. We start with KCF Football Club. Do they need a clear out of players and leave Senyondo to rectify whatever isn't going their way, or they need to first, tell Senyondo,
I think when it goes back to the administration of the team, before you bring in a coach, you exactly bring in a coach who will fit into the style of the team and do things of that sort. And I think them bringing Senyondo and Magera, who was there for some time with the likes of Mike Mutebi, they really knew these coaches can really combine and do something for the club, which I think might not be the problem for them as coaches. The problem for KCC might be even bigger than the coaches and what you see on the pitch. Their problem might be going deeper into the administration, which I think they must rectify in the next seasons and see. But I don't see KCC's problems being the coaching.
Not Senyondo.
No, not Senyondo, not the likes of Magera, no. But I think it goes beyond, which I think they will work on and become a different side.
You think they have done a good job for KCCA this season?
I might not, because they came in, one came in the middle there, and again, the thing I think that is a problem is letting them know who is the head coach and who is the assistant for the other. That might have caused some little bit of problem between themselves. But
and then bringing in Masaba.
Yes.
It makes the discussion even more strange. Now, where does Masaba fall? Probably it sidelined Magera so far.
Yeah,
but I didn't see Magera again after Masaba came.
Yeah, but I think that's where they need to be specific. Be specific and honest to the coaches. You are the assistant, you are the head, and this is your role. Everyone should know their role. So that the moment they rectify that, I think these coaches are good for the job. But where they come those small issues, then they can spoil everything.
Then the quality of players at KCA Football Club, you formerly played for KCCA, we know the kind of players they should have. Do you think they are the best for KCA Football Club in the market? And has been mentioning about how Vipers Star Football Club have dominated the market and have gotten the best of the players who have in the league. Players at KCA Football Club, the ones that are supposed to be at KCCA, the KCCA Noctoni? Yeah,
I will absolutely be honest with this. I think the quality a little bit lacks. So we've been, Tendo has been talking about how this young man, the striker, comes in and just goes into the first team, into the starting lineup. Like, how is this even possible? You have to bring in a player and he has to fight his way into the team. And when he reaches on the pitch, everyone will notice this guy has been really working hard, and this is the result will be seen on the pitch. I think the quality a little bit lacks, and this goes to the people that recruit for the team. You have to know the quality the team wants and what is lacking in the team. Don't just bring in players for the sake of bringing players, because players you bring in there, you will have the numbers, the squad will be big, but they will ask you questions on the day of the match.
Tony, I also ask you this one. Yes. You are a CAF B licensed coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
The tendency of coaches, Kadu is so Kadu going almost half of express at work. Then send also I know I'm busy when Zija, you have to come with me. Mugisha also come along with me. Buambara. What's your take on that?
Yeah, there's what we call the style. There are two things. Teams have their own philosophies as a team. As you can see, Vipers or KCC, they have their way of doing things. That's why you say sometimes KCC they say we want to win, but we want to win our way. So they have their philosophy. But at the same time, you have the coach who also has his own philosophy. So you have to bring in a coach that will gel in with your philosophy, that you can both of you combine, the coach and the team. So I think in this the coach, that's why you see they opt to bring in players who really understand what they teach.
Do you buy into it?
Which I think is sometimes is not good for coaches.
But
because now,
how it is done.
Because now, if you are to move into like 5 clubs, will you be like? Because these players you're bringing have contracts.
That is how it is. Yes, unfortunately, that is how it is. Because I was discussing with my son recently when they started putting rumors that Jose Mourinho might return to Real Madrid. Then I looked around and told him the first name he's going to talk about, if they even talk up to him, is, are you going to sign Osimhen? And the boy told me, but Osimhen is not a Mourinho player. I said, no. Mourinho would want to have a striker, a black one with energy to lead his line. And I've looked around, he's the one who is there. Then he said, you papa, Mourinho has now grown old, maybe he has a new philosophy. The day they talked about that, he read in the papers, Mourinho told them, you sign Osimhen. So the challenge is, sometimes the philosophy of the club is not well explained.
Yeah.
That the coach can overrule them. And that is the moment a team starts to struggle. This is the time we need to use European experience or examples. Pep Guardiola bought the type of players he needs after leaving Barcelona to go to Man City. And he dominated because of those players. So much that if one of them is out, you see that the team has lost identity.
Yeah.
You get it? And some of them that leave can go and prosper in other clubs, but you will not feel bad about them. But there are teams where you are a dominant player in that team, and when you leave, you flop. That means you have been in the other philosophy. Not every coach can make you play the same way. Yeah. Not every club can give you the same liberty. That is why some players will struggle. But now there are teams that will hire a coach because of the name. Tony Maweje is the one who is rocking at the moment. So tumutwale Muchitara. Chitara would want to use a certain type of player. Tony Maweje wants a certain type of player. Definitely because he's a coach. Every time he watches football, he watches these players and he has favorites. Now the challenge is, if he's capable of bringing them, he will bring them.
Okay.
You get it?
But I think...
And he will want the ones that don't suit out. But where the conundrum comes is the case like for Mbarangu. We all try to define Mbarangu with a certain way. He goes to URA where we thought it was really the wrong coach in the right club. And then he makes a sacrilegious decision to remove some of the players and bring the ones that he thinks. But when he was bringing, he was not even bringing the ones we know him for. So we started asking ourselves, Mbarangu agena koze sawa iswa? You know, you start trying to analyze. Yeah, so sometimes you think that when you don't define your philosophy as a team, you cannot blame the coach, because naturally the coach's philosophy is smaller. It involves a playing style and how you win games. But you can come wanting to win games and then you tell the coach naye to winning an style. Nga yakugani result isobola ojijjayo naye ya style sokondeke nze nkuba business. Now this discussion has to come because these clubs are young. Some of the clubs are young. At KCCA, for instance, people who have been there 80s, 90s, and the early 20s, 2000s of Tony Maweje, they will know exactly what a KCC wants to play. But even some fans today don't mind. But don't think that when they see Muserero or maybe Alpha Sun, they don't say, but have we reached this level really? Even when they want results, they will say, you saw him missing a chance. Actually, he executed great technique. You get it?
Yeah.
But some of them were laughing sarcastically. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
if probably that attempt was made by a different player. And I used to joke with people that in the heat of KCC's greatness, they had 2 players, actually 3. They had, Mayanja had left, but they had a Deri and a Congolese, a Deri Mvambano. And then they had Bekamboa, a young striker, very brilliant. And then they had Godfrey Mugisha. Godfrey Mugisha was about speed and execution. Then they brought in Kabeza, Edward Mugisha Kabeza. Now, different variations of players. So one day, as they were discussing, I asked some people, if it is a chance, if I'm the midfielder and I have the ball, I come with the ball, there is a Deri here, there is Godfrey Mugisha there is Mboa there, and Kabeza. If I choose to make a pass, which pass do I make? And you say, Chakozete Chiriyo. They are all players. You get it? And everyone was like, you give Mboa, Mboa will finish it. Kabeza, Mugisha, Aspatia kuwa cross and what? Then I told them, do you know what? If I don't pass to Mboa, I pass to a Deri. Because if a Deri misses, even if he tried something audacious, they will say, Abada inachaiya. Now, if you are a player, whereby when you miss an opportunity, they say, Akoze chachecho. Then you know the team doesn't trust you, even the fans. Now, how you define players is in that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Tony will make a pass, trying to chip, they will say, Kai Mugeza inaka abada kubye. Then Kylian tries it. Kakati akubabichi. Gabiro nalio kumpi. You get it? And in football, it is the outrageous effort or something out of the ordinary that works and makes you a great player.
Yeah, but then I think Mugalu, it all goes back to the people making recruitments for the teams.
Okay.
They must definitely know what the team, what type of players to bring on board, not the coaches to decide. That's why he said that sometimes the coaches' philosophies outshine the teams, but it should be the team first before the coach, because the coach, even when he leaves, he will leave the team philosophy there. So bring in players that will gel in what the team wants than what the coach really wants. It should be the team first, then the coach second.
Okay.
That's what I would think.
And I think the more adaptable is the coach. Because if a team has a philosophy, this philosophy can run for 100 years. You are going to coach for a few years.
Yeah.
Why should you insist on killing people's teams simply because you want to achieve?
Exactly.
Or at least put it in contract. Do you want me to win for you, or you want me to build? I'm a builder or I'm a winner.
Yeah.
Because we know. And eventually they also know. But the challenge is when they are recruiting, sometimes the dynamics of the economy dictate. Either they will go for a coach who will give them kitu kidogo, I mean the people who are scouting, or they will go for a coach who is cheaper because their budget fits in and kill all the other things, or they will think, some coaches are very, very pragmatic. You cannot just come and tell him, especially if it did not appear in the contract.
Yeah, but
where we are now, every coach will accept a job, even when it does not fit in his philosophy, or when he knows that he cannot manage the other philosophy, because we are looking for survival. That is where the challenge is.
Okay. There it is. We are wrapping up the StarTimes Uganda Premier League 2025-2026. And as we come to the climax of today's broadcast, I'll be having some quick fire questions that I'll be firing to Tendo and Tony. 1 second, they'll be giving us a few answers on what has transpired throughout this very season. Tendo and Tony, as we wrap this up, I'll be having a few quick fire questions, but they'll be coming off it. Then you won't be explaining much, you just say. I will start with Tendo, who is my immediate neighbor. So, your most disappointing side in the league this season?
URA.
Why?
You said I don't explain. I got it off my head.
Okay. Disappointing player.
Let him first name a side.
Today, disappointing side.
For me, it is Buhimba.
You
Yes.
expected something from
Exactly from the start. They were really doing good. They started well. They even at one point they were at the top of the table at the start, and that's good football they used to play. It has really they have really nothing out of it, and they have been relegated now.
Disappointing player, the player expected to shine, and then definitely.
No, for me, for the part of the player, I would want to speak about the one that has been most exciting. Yeah, because I might
It is hard.
I might say a comment here.
I thought I was making a, no. I thought I was making a mistake.
Yes.
Now I know how hard it is.
It's not hard.
No.
But
We skip
I
that.
know I've been a player. I know how hard it can be hearing somebody you think maybe he trusts you, make such a statement. It can kill you as a football player and never surface again.
Okay.
So for me, I
So
would
we
love to.
unanimously choose to
the
skip
most exciting, the one that has been so exciting.
Maybe it's not in the question. Don't say it like this.
We have three.
This man, management, give me another man.
Omusajja abeerewo. Tendo, best coach, your coach of the season.
My coach of the season is Badru.
Okay. Give me a reason for that.
What he did at Express for me was magnificent. With all the things Express had, what he did, bringing back the likes of Chai, giving us players like Rotungeo, this under 17 player Simwe, the football they played, and the fact that whatever he did made it easy for the new coach to walk in. Because for me, the second again would be Jimmy Chintu, who came and took over with almost 3/4 of the team taken, but he continued with that aspect. But I would blame him for the bad start of Calvary. That is where he loses points. Now, when you combine Kadu's work at Express, which for me gives him 70%, and what he has done at NEC, he takes 100% this season.
Best coach for you, Tony?
For me, I would go with the Jimmy Chintu. Express.
Okay.
Yes. He has pointed out the reason. The state where he found Express, where they were having lost almost half of their team, bringing new players and trying to combine them to see that he wins matches so that Express stays somewhere. And at the end of the season, they have ended up playing very good football. So for me, it takes my nod.
What's been the face of Uganda Premier League this season? Give me 3 names. The face of Uganda Premier League.
The face of Uganda Premier League has been Karim Watambala. One. But then the most exciting face, although not for the Uganda Premier League, as in born and bred, has been Sebaduka. How he has played this season with all the things we've talked about, the positions, the understanding of the game. I just wish he would get a pre-season and be told what is his best number so that he puts in a shift, because naturally in developing a player of that nature, he's not going to grow in size. He's not going to grow some other techniques, because the way you train to be a forward player and the way you train to be a defensive midfielder or attacking or fullback differs. And the training, those things you must do them repetitively. If you want to build muscle, you have to do some things and eat the same thing. Now the challenge he has is, I don't know whether even mentally he sleeps knowing which position he's going to play. So naturally he cannot do all that training. So if only they could get a good pre-season for him and give him that, yes, he can switch to positions, but even at half-fit position, he can play those positions. For me, it's like Willie Chambade. Not in terms of skill, but in terms of versatility. And what killed Willie Chambade was because he didn't know his position he was going to play. He could play left wing, he could play number 10, he could play number 8, he could play the free role. But all those required a certain amount of energy and all that. And for him, he knew, as long as I'm fit, nja kusamba tewali namba je sisambe. That is what killed him. So for me, that one is the second phase. Then the third is Raymond Barasa Mangoli.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the league is known for defense first.
Okay.
He has shown us defense, and everybody who has looked at him would remember a certain defender coming up.
Okay.
Tony would mention so many of his era. Us who have seen people in the 80s and all that will tell you we are seeing William Kemba coming up, Sam Kabugo coming up, Agre Bigala coming up. When you see him play, the Timothy Batabaires of this world, for me, those three players have been exceptional this season.
Tony, your three faces of the StarTimes UPL League for this season.
Yeah, I will side with him on Watambala. That ability to take over the responsibility after the exit of Alan Okero. I will still go. Another one is Hassan Mubiru at Villa. Most so exciting, creates. Sometimes he takes over that responsibility to lead the team up front in terms of attack. He's been exciting, and also the young man in Ambrose, the UPPC,
Ambrose
Chigozi. His team is a immediatable team. You don't find so many chances around there they create, but he's challenging for the board with around 11 goals. It's not as Watambala, who is in a team that creates so much. It's not as the one IMBC in KCC. He finds his target and scores goals. I think those three for me, they have been outstanding in the season.
Well, those
we
are
all forgot Lukwago, the Villa goalkeeper. When you mention Ambrose, I just say Lukwago. Giringi.
One of the most outstanding keepers in the
Great
StarTimes
technique.
League, and of course Atendo. You rated him too?
Giringi.
Giringi, former Villa player as well.
Yeah, and who started goalkeeping coach style in Uganda. He looks like someone who has, but I think the credit will go to Kawaria.
Sam Kawaria.
Yeah, Sam Kawaria, the goalkeeper coach there, because I've seen, you know, sometimes when you, like for example, if I look at Tony Maweje's team, I want to see some player playing like Tony Maweje. Then I will know that this guy is coaching this team. Otherwise, if your team does not have a Tony Maweje, what football are you coaching the people? So when you see Kawaria, you see Kawaria in this boy.
Stylish.
And again, I saw Kawaria in Wokorach playing drum. So I'm waiting to see Angufidru to know that this guy has changed, because we all know how Angufidru has been performing. Okay. He has not gotten a chance this time, but you see that Kawaria has done a good job. So I think the coaching also matters. That is why you would find that when you see Abdallah Mubiru, don't be surprised to see Issa Bugembe playing like that. Issa Bugembe was not a midfielder per se when he was starting his career. That is why he didn't get a breakthrough a lot. But the moment he landed in Abdallah Mubiru's hands, you see the way Abdallah played. Then when you add Livingstone in Mbabazi, you see how the midfielders play. Now for Ambrose, I'm asking myself, because I don't see any strikers coach. Maybe those are Funako Mbabazi when he played in Ireland, because we didn't see many of his games. Because apparently when he went to Ireland, he played as a number 9. So he could be thriving from the notes of Mbabazi, because the guy's movement is killer. In this league where you see strikers fumbling to even find space, that guy is so stealth, my friend. I'm just sorry that he couldn't appear in my team. One, for a reason, I can't forgive a striker for scoring 1 goal per game. I've seen strikers who can score many. Unfortunately, he's not that hungry. We've not seen games where he comes and scores many goals, even against weak teams. So probably it goes down to the few chances they create. But we saw Andu Mukasa relaxed in a game, but coming out with a brace or a hat-trick. So it is possible. I know it is possible, and I just hope they work on it. He might be a good season. I don't know whether they can keep him, in this era where the big money teams will pick out any player. He might be an Isaac Ogwang or a Kenneth Chimera landing somewhere. But there is also another player, Lawrence Olaboro of Kaluvare, and Clinton Kamugisha. Clinton Kamugisha played in goal when Barara was struggling, and they got a point. He was not playing games because of Chitege, but somehow he has now scored almost in every game Barara has played. So I think the league has had some things, but mostly in the mid-table there has been disappointment up and down, but in the mid-table it has been perfect.
Well, that and more, you'll be definitely getting it live on FUFA TV in our subsequent shows. The FUFA TV breakfast will be happening tomorrow starting at 7 until 10 a.m. Godson Ochira, Victor Mporogoma will be here, and of course some few guests that will be enlightening more on how the league has transpired. The Spotlight will also be coming in to give you the latest happenings in the league and other shows as they will be coming in. So stay tuned at FUFA TV to get this and more as we finally wrap up the season. Of course, the title race is over, but it's not yet over yet in the UPL with sides still fighting for the second place sides, and also when there's still a fight that will be coming for the sport onto the continent. The Sandvik Uganda Cup final is also coming your way, but also the last game, that is match day 30, and as Vipers SA will be handed at the Margarita at St. Mary's Stadium Chitende when they take on Express Football Club. Hopefully we shall be bringing everything as it will be transpiring down there live on FUFA TV. Alex Mugarubisima, Tendo, Anikta Musoke, and Tony Maweje, we thank you for walking this journey with us today from where we started. Thank you. Have a good evening.